Hi friends and welcome to the ESL Heroes Spring Qualifier. This is the North American Qualifier number 3 and it has been a 3-day event, but we are now down to the final 4 teams, and here on this stream Zoya and I will be covering one of the semifinals, one of those qualifying matches.
Yeah, we'll be covering Team Blaze, who we've been following the last 2 days. They're going to be going up against King of Blades Alpha, who at Esports Arena, wasn't too impressed with their play, but over the last month and a half, they have improved drastically. They took down Tempo Storm in one of the Enter the Storm qualifiers, and they've been having really good results in online sets as well. So, I'm really excited to see this team. It's going to be tough to beat Blaze. Blaze considered the number 3 team in NA for a long time now, and I'm really excited to see what these two can do against each other.
Yeah, Blaze has made it into the final 4 teams every single qualifier and narrowly lost to Tempo Storm in the last one, which made them have to fight their way back through this qualifier again. So they, I'm sure, are getting very tired of having to fight their way through all the way only to not qualify, and they want to make it here. But this is not the last one. We still will have one more that will be this Sunday, and it will be the top 8 teams, their placements based on points that they acquired from how they placed in the last 3 qualifiers. That will be invited to that last chance one, and we'll have our final 2 teams going to regionals from there.
Yeah, which will take place at the end of the month, February 27th and 28th in Burbank, California. It's going to be an exciting event where those top 8 teams will be facing off for a $100,000 prize pool. But not only that, Gilly, the top 2 teams, first and second place, will qualify for the Spring Championships, will be held in Seoul, Korea.
And that will be the first World Championship of 3 in the Global Championship circuit, and that will have a $500,000 prize pool and will include 10 other teams from around the world. We already know 2 of those teams going. They are from China, and the Chinese representatives, it's E-Star Gaming as well as Edward Gaming, but we don't know any of the other regions yet, and this is the first step when it comes to North America, is getting teams to those regionals.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. We're almost done with the qualifiers finally, and we're headed towards that final event where we'll see who are the top teams that will be representing North America. It's going to be really exciting. There's a lot of great talent now. 2015 was a year of, dominating results from both Cloud9 and Tempo Storm, where they kind of controlled the NA scene the entire year. But this year is looking to be very, very different, as both those teams, Cloud9 and Tempo Storm, are still at the top of NA. But you have Bob Ross Fan Club, who is arguably number 1 team in North America right now. You have Cognitive Gaming as well as Resurgence on the rise, and then of course Team Blaze here as well, who's considered to be very, very good. NA is in a really cool spot right now.
It is, and I'm really excited to see both of these teams. Both of them were at the Heroes Rising event. They know each other as well, and we're able to kind of hang out and get to know each other in person too. So we could see some interesting things because of that, since they do know each other pretty well. Besides the fact that we've been seeing interesting things all week, all the past 3 days, just because of the fact that we've been following Team Blaze, and they've got their own strategy when they go into drafts.
Well, speaking of drafts, Gilly, it is starting, guys. Get hyped for game number 1. Blaze your dongers or cheer for your King of Blades. I don't know anything fun to say of their name because it is starting. Blaze with the first pick, first ban on Infernal Shrines, and they're going to go ahead and deny Jaina. It's an interesting ban, as with first pick, you'd be the one to be able to potentially pick up the Jaina, who's considered to be one of the best assassins, if not the best assassin right now.
And a quick follow-up ban on Rhaegar too, and then Blaze instantly locks in that Falstad, and that's something we've been seeing a lot from them, is really prioritizing having Falstad. The fact that he has global presence and can soak as long as possible, and he provides so much utility either in making sure that they can pick up takedowns or helping to disengage for his team when it comes to his Mighty Gust heroic ability. We saw a Hinterland Blast once. It's doubtful that we see that again though here in this game.
I love how Blaze has been putting priority into Falstad the last few days. He's such a great hero. His mobility is amazing. His damage is insane. It's so fun to finally see this hero at the top of the meta, because he is in a really fun spot. King of Blades are going to go ahead and lock in that Zagara, a hero that we have not had a chance to cast much lately, as Zagara just seems to be the go-to bans for a lot of teams. Great mobility, or great vision rather. You have the interrupt with the devouring maw, which can completely win you a fight. Can sometimes just completely lose you a fight as well, depending on how you use it. But and then great consistent damage. And it's really cool to see Kael Thoth picked up this early. He's in a really interesting spot with the nerfs to his kit, the cooldown reduction or increase rather on both his heroics, the nerf to gravity laps, as well as the nerf to arcane barrier that happened this week. We are seeing him go through a lot of drafts, and to see him picked up this early is almost surprising.
Yeah, yesterday he went through a lot farther into the drafts, too. But it seems like King of Blades are still very confident with him. It might be that they've either been able to figure it out and they're okay with the changes, or just the fact that a patch came through right in the middle of this qualifier yesterday. It's more that teams are just trying to go with what they're comfortable with and then maybe figuring out more with what they need to do after the qualifier has finished. But Stitches and Lieutenant Morales, two picks that we've seen from Blaze before going into this pretty early, even before the second bans, and I love King of Blades. They're having none of this Blaze crazy showdown madness that we've had.
You need to ban show every game versus King of Blades. Again, I've seen scrims versus these guys. They are the most obnoxious team on the planet when they get their hands on show. They really can abuse this hero. It's quite impressive. I want to talk about Blaze's picks, Stitches and Lieutenant Morales. Both of those picks, I'm really happy to see. We started to see yesterday that Yuge was getting banned out of Lieutenant Morales. People were just not letting him get it. His spread healing on Morales. I know what I just said. Spread healing is insane from Lieutenant Morales. Yuge is a god on this hero, and of course Stitches is currently considered the best warrior in the meta right now. He's just the scaling changes, how tanky he is with his talent reworks. The availability of Hook right now is a lot of heroes do not have escapes. If you look at the end of King of Blades, how many of those heroes have a way to get away once they get hooked? None of them so far.
None.
So
nope. And adding Tyrande to that too, who also doesn't. Unless she picks up Sprint later on. But I do like at least that they've stolen Tyrande away from having Stitches Tyrande together for that follow-up stun. And so far they have a lot of the follow-up stuns that you would have for the Hook. They've got Gravity Lapse from Kael'thas, they've got Lunar Flare from Tyrande, but I'm pretty sure in the past we've seen Blaze been able to make Stitches hooks work regardless. They still have slows from Falstad, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pull out Lunara right here, unless they've got something else up their sleeve.
Lunar would be good damage. They would have to go double DPS or double warrior with that, I feel. If they do end up picking the Lunar, and it'd be curious to see if they are willing to do that. I think if they went like Murden Lunara here, that would be pretty good. You land the hook, you get the Stormbolt follow up, and because you hook that target, they're going to be isolated from the rest of their team, so you can go Thunderstrike at 13, and you have a lot of burst just with the Murden alone on those hook targets. So Murden Lunara wouldn't be too bad. Looking at King of Blades composition, Blaze is already in a good spot with their 3 picks they have versus the Mosh Pit. Stitches can hook out the Mosh Pit depending on the positioning. You have Grenade from Lieutenant Morales and Mighty Gust from Falstad. So a lot of ways to disengage that heroic so far. Ooh. Is it going to be Zeratul Abathur?
Yeah, yesterday we saw teams banning in that second round pretty constantly Zeratul versus Blaze. And when he wasn't, he was picked up. Claudius does so much with this hero, and now they have so much potential for zoning people away with a Void Prison while they have somebody hooked and can take them out, or they can zone away with a Mighty Gus after they hook someone too. So it's going to be tough for a team, King of Blades, if someone gets hooked to try to get back in there in time and be able to save them.
They do this on purpose at this point.
Yes, they do this to us.
They do this on purpose.
They try to tilt you. You know that they just really want to tilt you.
It works. Just in case they're curious, you guys are doing a good job of it. The Abathur's picked up here, and I think that's what we both expected.
They have so many good targets for Stim Drone with this.
Yeah, both Zeratul and Falstad would be great. And then it's going to be the Lunara. Okay, so they are going to do it with the triple damage. That's a lot of poke, with the Zeratul cleave build where you blink in, you do your cleave damage, and then you wormhole out. Mix in with the Lunara poke and then the Falstad damage. There's a lot that you can do damage-wise. So a lot of damage coming out from Blaze. I don't know if they can successfully solo support Tyrande against this much damage. I feel like potentially Tassar would work well here. You get the vision from Oracle that will help not only just seeing where Stitches is when he's going to hook you, but reveal the Zeratul who will be stealthed, as well as the extra shields from it. I'm still not the biggest fan of Tassarando duo support, but I think they kind of need to go with that just because of the Zeratul.
Yeah. So they have an interesting potential, though, with Karazim, as they could pick up Foresight, which would
Yeah.
at least provide some vision in that way. Same with if they wanted to go with a Brightwing there, and then they could have that Peekaboo at level 4. So there is at least some potential there with the vision from Karazim that way. And now they have Karazim who can be up there with ETC. He has more escape too with Radiant Dash if he's the one who gets hooked, so he can kind of be the one who's up there in front along with ETC, blocking the hook from those more vulnerable targets on the side of King of Blades. But when I look at Blaze's combination, Zoya, the thing I think of immediately is think of Unfair Advantage if that's the talent choice for Lunara, where her Nature's Toxin is going to be doing 50% more damage to targets that are slowed. They have Singularity Spike. They have the potential maybe for Pulverize, but at least Putrid Bile from Stitches. And they have slows from Hammering on Falstad that they could even amplify even more. That's pretty scary combination right there.
Yeah. The one thing they have going against them is their lineup is very squishy. Outside of the Stitches, I mean, those are 4 very easy to kill targets. So if they do get the CC lock with the Power Slide, Tyrande, Lunar Flare, and then the Gravity Lapse, they can really do a lot of damage. And I also think King of Blades wins the War of the Shrines. Kel'Thas is such a beast at controlling that, just lobbing out flame strikes constantly.
Yeah, there's a lot more single target damage on the side of Blaze.
Yeah.
But they do have Cleaves from Zeratul, and Stitches could go for the build that helps clear them out too with regurgitation. What's the name of that? Indigestion, that makes the little wretchlings that run around and can kind of clear out the shrines for you. But I guess if the plan is just to get picks and take people out that way so that King of Blades just can't contest the shrines, then from there they can leave Stitches with that build to take out the shrine, and then the rest of them can go pick up camps or push.
Well, guys, game number 1 of this last set, the round of 4 matchup is starting right now. Give us a shout out in chat. Let us know who you think is going to win this series, who you're a fan of. Are you going to be blazing your dongers, or are you going to be raising your blades? Let us know which team you align yourself with.
We have King of Blades in blue, and we have Team Blaze in red. So I want to see who you're rooting for in chat. Change your name to blue if you are if you're rooting for King of Blades Alpha, and if you're a Team Blaze fan, if you want to see them qualify here, you can change your name to red. It seems very fitting that Team Blaze is on
Or
the red
if
side.
you like me, you can just go pink, because pink is the best color
Zoya
on
has
Twitch
chosen
chat.
pink.
Look at my name, man. It's pink, see?
Yeah, pink is awesome. I think mine's pink too, actually.
Well, it's because we get it.
We do. We are ready, guys. The game has started, and we have King of Blades Alpha in blue with Dark Chimera playing Tyrande, Collusion playing ETC, Frozen X on Zagara, Tomster playing Karazim. That's interesting. I wonder if we're going to see damage Karazim because that's their flex. And then finally, Talking Trees will be playing Kael'Thas.
That is exactly what we're seeing.
Is that what we're seeing?
And on the right-hand side of the map, in the red trunks, one of the favorites in North America. A lot of teams surprised that they took them. They're still in this third qualifier. They haven't qualified yet. It's going to be Team Blaze. Jason on Falstad, Rafflecopter on Lunar, Claudius playing Zeratul, Battery playing Stitches, and rounding out the team, the god himself, Yuge.
Ooh, such high praise. And an owl already going to be revealing Claudius as he tries to get in the lane. A hook goes down onto ETC, but he has the power slide to get away. Does get hit a little bit with Nature's Toxin, but it's going to be able to heal himself back up in no time as they start to move into the lanes. Both teams maybe looking to stay around here with the exception of Zagara moving up into the lane immediately. Start getting work done in there as she is such a great solo lane hero.
Yeah, and probably one of the best, actually, if not the best in the game. No surprise seeing Jason being the one to rotate up there. When it comes to the solo lane potential, really Jason is the only option that can even deal with Zagara. Stitches is not bad in a solo lane, but he won't win it. He will survive is what Stitches does, but he won't be able to get to stop the push, which is why you see Falstad up there. Looks like Battery, Claudius, and Yuge going to be rotating while Lunar sits in the mid. Rafflecopter has to be very careful. Tomster looking to get pretty aggressive here. And we'll see how this is going to go for King of Blades in the early game.
Now, the other day we had another DPS Karazim, a damage Karazim, who picked up Iron Fist at level 1 instead of Transcendence. But he still ended up speccing into those healing talents later on, Circle of Life and the Double Breath of Heaven, Echo of Heaven. So I'm wondering if we'll get more of the damage talents, and I'm really wondering if we're going to have Foresight at level 4 to provide the vision, like I mentioned before. But we'll see as he starts to spec into that. There's lots of different options, and you still get a lot of good damage even when you go for those healing talents, just because you have so much mobility that you can be very aggressive and throw out a lot of damage before you have to jump back to your team.
Well, as you do see that the Shrine is spawning here in the top, and Frozen X taking a lot of damage. Will they be able to secure the kill? The blink before it happens? No, not able to get one more auto attack off. Jason getting very low from that Hydrals because he dove so deep and he just kind of ignored that it was on him. He's either going to have to go back, which is probably the better option. Instead of tapping well, it allows you to just fly back top. Save that well for the Shrine fight. As both teams getting very close to level 4, everyone's rotating up. Rafflecopter going to be the last to join the fight. Looks like Tomster is in the jungle with heading down below with his team. See, as level 4 is picked up. Here, taking a look at the talents. Don't see anything too out of the ordinary here, Gilly, do you?
Mainly Vampiric Strike from Zeratul.
Isn't that like a Blaze standard, though?
That is something that, yeah, we'll see them do a lot more than other people. Hook goes down onto Frozen X. Body block's really great from Claudius, but does have to blink away. But Frozen X is going to go down to that Nature's Toxin damage, and that will be first blood in this game.
I love the synergy coming out from these guys. I mean, normally you see the preemptive cast on a hook from like a Tyrande stun, but Lunara did that with her Noxious Blossom. Excuse me, her Crippling Spore, whichever one it is, the AoE.
Oh, okay, yeah, the Noxious Blossom.
The Q, Noxious Blossom. I was right the first time. Yeah, he preemptively cast it where the hook position was, and immediately Zagara got hit with that. It just shows like the synergy between Blaze. They've been playing, like I think you said yesterday, they are the longest standing roster in North America right now.
Yeah, and having that Noxious Blossom goes down ensures that you're able to get the poison, which means you can use the Crippling Spores and get that slow. And it's really important for them to land a slow of some type because they don't have a follow-up stun, really. They have to rely on making sure to land one of those slows so that they can make sure to pick up a kill off of that hook. And so far, they are leading the charge at this Shrine as they've picked up 25 out of 40. And we have King of Blades having trouble being able to get in there. You know, they're moving Kael'thas up as much as possible to try to throw out those flame strikes, but not really finding value from that just yet.
False side gets taken out there. Great combo coming out from King of Blades. That just shows you the potential of this burst that they have with that Hunter's Mark. Melee getting false. Nice what goes out on the Talking Trees. He takes a lot of damage, but Lunara might not be able to get this. The grenade comes out. It does end up missing, and Talking Trees is going to survive that. Nice Lunar Flare coming out as well onto Lunara. That's going to put Rafflecopter on a 14 minutes until he's back, or 14 seconds until he's back in this game. And this gives King of Blades the moment they need to try and get these minions. This is what I'm talking about where the early game, if they can get the engagements they want, they're going to have the better team fight. Claudius looking to go in to get on top of Tomster. He's pretty low on mana. Does get a little bit of poke with that cleave onto Collusion. It's 33 to 26. King of Blades is doing a fantastic job. Kael'thas is just about to rejoin the fight. Battery still topped off. They catch Claudius in the top. Nice combo, but he gets the blink down just a half second too early. Double gravity lapse goes down. Claudius gets low. The living bomb does go off. That's going to be a dead Zeratul. Talking Trees get hit by the hook, but no follow-up from the rest of his team. It's 35 to 33, and I think this is going to go over to King of Blades.
Yeah, finally Team Blaze, even though King of Blades is very low on mana, most of their members, they were just able to eke out picking up the first Punisher of the game, and will have level 7 talents very soon too. Now with this early Punisher, already seeing Kharazim start to rotate down as well as ETC. They're going to look for the time the Punisher is distracting the heroes up here to defend from Blaze to pick up the towers that are from this, but because the early Punishers are so weak, they're immediately just going down and getting as much soak as they can into the lane, and they do have the 7 talents. Looks like a gank was coming in from Blaze, but with Tomster here, Claudius is just going to have to blink away.
Oh, nice barrel roll there from Jason to avoid the combo. Very close to being Ripperoni there. I know I talk about him a lot, but I got to talk more about Yuji's Morales play in that last fight. You see him often just cancel his healing stream on a target when they're getting close to topped off because he like Stitches with his E, the self-heal for him, with mana globes or health globes as well. We constantly see him being as cost-effective as possible on Lieutenant Morales, and you'll constantly see him just cancel his healing stream before someone's even completely topped off because he knows just from a globe or something in their kit they'll be able to finish healing themselves on their own. And he just saves his mana, and he's more efficient and lasts longer in these fights because of it.
Yeah, it's such a great thing to be able to have that too, because it doesn't make you rely then on getting any of the mana talents, and he hasn't at all. He has extra damage for his grenade, and then he had picked up trauma trigger at level 1 instead of getting the shield feedback to be able to get the mana back on the safeguard. So it's really nice pickup to not have to worry about that still, and especially because sometimes Morales is thought of to be pretty mana dependent. Another cool pickup I saw from Lunara is we do have Nature's Culling instead of Wild Vigor at level 7, just going to show how much they are prioritizing being able to do damage to the shrine monsters, because it will do extra damage to them specifically because they are non-heroic targets.
Well, we do see that pretty big experience lead right now, as they're going to be able to get their heroics fairly easy here. Looks like instead of contesting right away, they're willing to just soak that out, which is a good call from King of Blades. Jason does get hit with the Lunar Flare, and he gets annihilated very quickly. Good collapse coming out from King of Blades.
And that gives them their heroic abilities. We'll see what they grab. It will be 7-sided strike for our damage Karazine, who, by the way, did go Way of the 100 Fists at level 7, so we're not going to have Echo of Heaven, but still did pick up Healing Ward instead of Foresight. So just relying on making sure that they are watching for Cladius to the shimmer of that cloaked hero, and relying on being able to react to them, their positioning, making sure that they're spread out for the Void Prison versus having the vision around like we've seen from Foresight before. Let's see, they also have Shadowstalk, Devouring Maw, Phoenix, and it will be Mosh Pit for ETC.
Yeah, pretty standard pickups there. We do see that the other heroics have been picked up for Blaze as well. It's going to be Thornwood Vine, Stim Drone, Putrid Bile, Mighty Gust, and Void Prison. And the fight's breaking out here. Battery taking some light damage, used as far away as he can to make sure he's keeping a battery up, but not susceptible to any crazy flank shenanigans. Hook goes down onto Collusion, but Battery getting very low and isolated from his healer right now. He's going to have to kite back. Tomster's still doing a good job of keeping his team alive with the help of Dark Chimera, and they're at 34. Blaze needs to either get out of here or force the fight now. Putrid Bile used, Lunar Flare comes out, a lot of damage used, nice cleanse coming out from Yuge onto Battery as well. Talking Trees gonna be able to secure himself, his team, the second Punisher of this game. Really great positioning coming out from King of Blades.
Now it is just a Mortar Punisher, so that's generally the ones that heroes are okay, or players are okay with losing to their opponents because they are thought of to be the weakest ones. They're starting to work this down, and again, we see King of Blades rotating out into lanes, starting to get the soak. They had to deal with a mercenary camp in the bottom, but they still at least get the towers here on top, and may look to try to get a catch if the Punisher would have stunned someone, but now they need to get out of here because Cladius is there. They have to use Shadowstalk. Battery was looking for the hook, but they do get behind the minions in time. Cladius up in front trying to body block, and the Void Prison goes down. Will they be able to get Collusion? He's low, but he makes it into the Void Prison, but Battery is right there, and a Thornwood Vine from Rafflecopter will seal the deal. 7-sided strike goes down onto Jason, but it's not quite enough to take him out, and now Tomster has to drop the healing ward. He and Dark Chimera are both taking damage. Is Dark Chimera going to get there in time? Will the heals come out? Because she has the Nature's Toxin and just barely in the nick of time. I don't know. It's going to be close. That Hammering and the Thornwood Vine make sure that Tyrande does not make it out.
I mean, MVP of that fight goes straight up to Falstad. Jason with that Stim Drone did so much damage to that front line. ETC got annihilated almost single-handedly by Falstad there. Jason went so ham against him with that Stim Drone, really just dropping himself full as fast as possible. I mean, that just shows you the value of Stim Drone on top of Falstad in these type of builds. That's why you see these two synergizing so well together. It's just such a great combination there. Jason really just showing the value of the auto attack build on Falstad.
Well, both teams starting to work on getting mercenaries back out into the lane, push their opponents back, and hope to get a better positioning going into the next shrine phase as much as possible. Bruisers will be up on both sides, already up on the side of King of Blades, and that's the one that you really want to get in time with the shrines, because those things will just push and push and push, and especially because they keep rezzing those wolves, demon dogs from the shaman, so they will look to pick those up so that way they can have them pushing and get some free damage on the structures. But because the shrine is up top, it won't be quite as detrimental as if it would be a bottom one.
Well, I see level 13 for both teams here, so they are going to be on even footing for this next tribute, or excuse me, shrine phase, spawning in the top lane. which would be a pretty good win here for King of Blades if they could get this, as that front wall's already down. They'd be able to secure themselves the first fort of the game if they were able to secure this victory here. Both teams rotating up. We'll see what's going to happen. Zoia does get hooked by Battery. A lot of damage coming out from Jason, and I love the use of the Gust to get the slow. Ma used to try and keep himself alive, but it doesn't matter as Rafflecopter is showing up. That's going to be 30 seconds without Zagara, and I think King of Blades might have to give this up. Claudius scouts out the approach coming. He goes immediately on the talking trees and going to blink on out there very quickly. He doesn't want to get picked off, and this is an Arcane Punisher. It did get nerfed in one of the most recent patches. It's a little bit less damage, so it's not as good as before, but still a very good Punisher.
Oh my gosh, with Nature's Culling, Rafflecopter just has to put down one basic attack on each minion, and like the poison is enough to take. Yeah. That's hilarious. Anyway, I like this decision from King of Blades to push in toward the mid. Mighty Gust going to be used to push them away from that fort, buy his team as much time. Usually we're going to heal up this minion just to make the push last as long as possible. But importantly, Zagara is back, and the shrine has yet to be picked up completely. Though Rafflecopter was looking for it is going to get caught out. There goes the Lunar Flare, and instantly Lunara just melts to the damage.
He looked like he was starting to realize that it was happening. He was like backing out slowly, would keep going back in when he wouldn't see anything though. He should have just left the moment he realized that they could be gaining for him. Now it's 20 seconds without Lunara. They only need 3 more minions, so I think Claudius with that wormhole should be able to blink and get a cleave and get out very quickly, but he's being as patient with it as he possibly can. He's coming in from the side, looking on top of Talking Trees, just trying to get a little bit of vision. Do they scout it out? Talking Trees does end up seeing him. They missed the gravity ups. They dismount him with the Flame Strike there. He's out of stealth. Talking Tree's taking a lot of damage, but the Punisher does end up going over the Blaze. Claudius getting very low. He's going to end up falling, so they get the Punisher. VP has been used, but they lose a life here. Jason getting very low as well. Nice power slide from Collusion. Mighty Gust has been used on Jason. Hook goes down onto Thompson. He's getting low himself. He gets a Radiant Dash to Frozen X. Maw comes out onto Stitches. Punisher doing work in the backline to Dark Chimera, getting him less than health on its own. Jason looked like he wants to re-engage. Rafflecopter looking for Thompson as he's so low in that front line, and he does end up getting a little bit of damage onto him, but should not be able to secure that kill.
Well, here goes the Punisher pushing in even more. They need to be careful because a jump can equal a hook from Battery, and for some of these members, that would be the end of them too. They know that they're going to have to give up this fort. They're just trying to deal with the Punisher as much as possible safely from the back line so that it doesn't get anything else. It doesn't allow the team to push in and get the towers in front, but unfortunately for them, they are dealing with a level 16 now Team Blaze, and they still have a ways to go, and Blaze knows this, so they can be more aggressive and try to pick up these towers here, but Collusion is coming back in.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to catch them, though, as Mighty Gust was used to disengage. 16 here. Talents are being picked up. We do see that it's going to be Rending Cleave on Zeratul. The new Cleave build is a lot more fun, with the damage buff to Cleave in one of the most recent patches. We're seeing Starwood Spear picked up on Lunara. It's going to be System Shock, Fishing Hook, and then Hammer Time for other heroics. Fishing Hook is one of the more fun talents in the game. You just suddenly out of nowhere, a hook can come through the fog, and you'd be surprised at how far away you'll be pulled.
I do like, though, for Stitches that they did get last bite, but they didn't end up going indigestion. They knew they had a lot of damage with Nature's Culling, and they knew they needed the Relentless. There is a lot of lockdown from King of Blades. There's just so many different ways for him to get stunned, and since he is the main front line, he needs to make sure that he can get back into position and not get taken out for too long, because without him, it's hard to continue fights when you only have the one warrior out in front.
What a great invade from King of Blades, just securing themselves that siege camp, forcing Battery off of it. And, I think this might be surprising a lot of people. I've been, the last few days, have been hyping up King of Blades, saying that, since Heroes Rising, they have improved drastically. Did anyone expect this close of a matchup? They're even experienced with Blaze, who has been just a monster in the scene the last few months. King of Blades is really starting to figure something out, whether they've hired a coach or, they've just brought in a new style of shot calling. They're keeping pace with Blaze right now, and that is so impressive.
Gonna check out the numbers so far since we have a damage Karzim. Not bad, 15,000 damage there, helping out, even though he's also helping with the heal significantly too, with neck actually ahead into Toronto. Is he gonna go down? Nope.
He just barely lives. Ow, my get him! Oh, so low. It was a nice collapse onto Claudius. The CC lock was there. Luckily, Jason was in position to land the Mighty Gust to disengage for him.
Ooh. I love System Shock pickup from Yuge. This is what I'm talking about. Blaze is so synchronized. I mean, you even mentioned it too. Grabbing that, knowing that any extra slows are going to really help when it comes to unfair advantage from Rafflecopter. Now he's going to go after Tomster 2. The Shrine has been started. It will be a Mortar Punisher, and both teams are going to look to start getting into position. Thornwood Vine going out, starting to poke down Members Battery. Going to be leading the front charge until Claudius can get around, just looking to see if he can pick up somebody wherever possible. But will Collusion get a very good mosh pit? Stitch is in a lot of trouble.
Three-man Maw on the back line. Can they get on top of this? Collusion does end up getting the mosh pit down. That's a lot of members caught inside of it. Thornwood Vine doing a lot of damage to Frozen next. Dark Chimera getting body blocked. He's going to end up falling. Good hook from Badley. That's going to secure the kill onto Zagara. And I don't think Talking Trees is getting away either. I think this is going to be a full man wipe, just showing you, oh man, Stitches got so low there. And I think the reason that happened, the reason that Blades lost that fight was that Maw. It looked really impressive because it caught 3 people, but Battery was so low. If they would have left him outside of it, if they would have only hit Huge with it, that could have been their fight. But that Maw, it just wasn't enough time. And then of course the flank coming out from Zeratul really messed up the back line of King of Blades.
Every time we see Blaze run Lunara like this, the early game is tough and they do lose things and it looks really close, but then once Lunara into 13 and 16 picks up those talents, they start wrecking every time. It's too much damage for any team to handle, and it's really fantastic, especially how they're able to pair other heroes with them, add more slows, making sure that they really get the most value out of getting unfair advantage and being able to do just a ton of poison damage to all of the heroes at once, let alone the skeletal defenders.
Yeah, we were just talking about that actually in that game. Once she hits 16, she is a monster when it comes to damage-wise, and Rafflecopter showing that for sure, as he's second in damage right behind Zagara, doing a great job this game. Level 20 picked up out of nowhere for Blaze here, as we'll take a look at what talents they're going to be picking up. It's going to be Nexus Blades on Zeratul. Of course, it's going to be Epic Mount on Falstad, Hardened Shield on Stitches, Caduceus Reactor 2.0 picked up on Lieutenant Morales, and it's going to be Forest Wrath, which is the increase on rage and vision radius for Lunara.
And makes it faster too, so it's a lot easier to make sure that you can hit those. But the increase in range is going to be nice for her. Right. Because of the fact that you do want to play back with her. She's very squishy, and it allows you to play really safely, as well as the Starwood Spear, which is generally the one most picked up at level 16. But now, with this Punisher, they're going to start to push in, and yeah, the damage, it's unreal.
Yeah, Lunara is just a monster truck at this point in the game. Just one poke, and then suddenly Frozen X is just like, I gotta get out, guys. Like, there's no living this. So Punisher comes forward, hits ETC, he's taking a little bit of damage. Are they gonna actually go for core here? Punisher is about quarter HP. Jason with that stim drone doing a lot of damage to the core, and they're focusing it down. It's at 94%. They're doing what they can. 7 side strikes using the backline. Jason and Rafflecopter do have to kite back to their teammates. They weren't fully ready to all in it. 3 people caught inside this devouring Maw. Collusion looking for the double stun. He hits 3 people there, gets the mosh pit on another 3. Nice job interrupting that coming out from Blaze. They're kiting back as well as they can. Great poke coming out from Rafflecopter as well as Jason. The hook goes down on the Talking Trees. He's got the arcane barrier pop. They're trying to keep him alive. Great heals coming out from the team, but it doesn't matter. He gets annihilated. Collusion has the power side of lane. Battery looking for another hook, but with the minion wave here, the core at 50%, this might be game. Dark Chimera trying to zone out for his team, but I don't think it matters. Guys, raise your blazes because this is it. This is going to be game number 1 going over to Blaze.
I don't even know if old arcane barrier could have dealt with the damage that came out there after that hook. But man, I loved the Mighty Gust into the Void Prison to delay as long as possible while the stim drone was going so they could focus on the core, had fewer people there. And even in the draft, you mentioned that Blaze was going to have no problem before they even had all 5 heroes picked with dealing with a mosh pit. And that was the case. Even when they got great devouring maws into a mosh pit and had a couple of members who had interrupts, they still had other people who were able to stop the mosh. And I don't know if they ever got a full length mosh pit off, and they really needed that to be able to start throwing the damage down and especially get some good chain bombs out that would wreck everyone in those mosh pits. So great job to Team Blaze. They are going to pick up game number 1, but there's still a chance for King of Blades Alpha to come back because we will have a game number 2. It is a best of 3. Any thoughts on the game before we go to break, Zoya?
Yeah, I thought you were going to throw away, so I just completely threw the thought I had out of my head.
Oh, sorry.
Give me 1 second. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say, like, your analysis mid-game was almost was completely perfect there. Blaze losing or what seemed like they were losing the early game was just because of the composition running the slow roll of Lunara. She's a very heavy scaling hero, but it doesn't happen until she hits 13, 16. It was a perfect insight on your part, calling out that, yes, it was close for that long time, but, that's what Blaze is used to. That's how you play. It's almost like the Asmodan style, where you see it's a slow start for him, but once he hit, you even see, consistently, like Tempo Storm and stuff when they used to run it, that they would be behind in levels, and then suddenly out of nowhere, Arthlon has 500 sacks and he's one-shotting people. So, great, just great analysis there, as it really just showed to that kind of play style.
Thank you, friend. It's something that we've been noticing a lot with them and following them this week. I also want to point out, huge man, 0 deaths. Fantastic job. Like, the team, though, even with only one frontline warrior, they had Zeratol, but Zeratol plays, kind of back and forth between frontline and back. They just are so good at running these Morales comps and knowing to protect the Morales. Even though he's right up there, it's like, it's just a great job from them all around. But we're going to see if King of Blades can bring it back in this next game. I have faith in them. I want to see a game number 3 between them, but we'll see if they can do it. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll see you in a bit. Blackheart's Bay! Muted. Hi friends, welcome back. Short break. I got so excited that I forgot to unmute myself. We have game number 2 just about to start, and guess where we are, Zoya. I want to give a shout out here. I want to give a shout out because we're in Blackheart's Bay, and I have a good friend, Anna Prosser Robinson, who loves Blackheart's Bay. And I know that there is a fun watch party happening right now on the Misclicks channel for this. That's where Anna and I have our show Eye on the Storm. It's a weekly Heroes of the Storm podcast that normally is going on around this time, about to start. And they're doing a watch party instead. So thank you so much. Love you guys over there. And this map is apparently for you. Zoe, you ready for this draft?
Oh, yeah. I am so ready for this draft. That was a really well played game from both teams, but Blaze definitely showing the mastery of this strategy. Blaze used to be a team that I wasn't too impressed with. I've often quoted calling them a cheese team, at least in the past. They used to do these crazy strategies that, really didn't make sense, and they would sometimes work, but then sometimes they were really sloppily executed, and it would just look really bad. But they've gotten to the point where, yes, they're still doing crazy stuff, they're still doing what some would call cheese, but they've they've mastered it. They've become efficient with it. And it's not just one gimmick, right? Where you use it once and then it doesn't work versus the next team because they'll see they see it. How to handle it from there. They've become much more efficient in their play styles, and they're really starting to master this. Less than standard type of drafting style, to the point that I would still almost call it some of their drafts a little bit cheesy, but it's to the point where it's well executed cheese. And they can also play standard now unlike before, where they would just be like crazy drafts every game that that they would do like Diablo 4 games in a row, and then when finally someone knows how to beat it, well, it's like, well, Blaze is knocked out of the tournament. So we're become more and more impressed with these guys as they slowly start to master their play style. They're becoming really well-rounded team.
Yeah, I mean, even that last game was more what you would consider a standard draft that came out of them, and yet it was still uniquely Blaze, just in the comfort picks, the way they play, the way they execute the drafts too. It's been very fun to get to follow them in this. But King of Blades, they've been very consistently improving, and now there's a third King of Blades team too. They have Alpha, Omega, and Epsilon, but I believe it would make sense that Alpha would be the first one. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm just gonna guess that that's correct. And I'm really excited to continue to see their growth. Do they have to do a new draft?
I don't think so. I think they just forgot to give Blaze their draft link, their drafter one.
Oh, you let them know we're ready to go. Okay.
Yeah, I've told them multiple times to go.
So this is actually going to be Blaze's map pick, which makes me think
Correct.
Is something up their sleeves.
And there's always something up their sleeves. These guys
true.
are like the craziest magicians. Sometimes you'll think they have a card up their sleeve, and when they pull back their sleeve, guess what? Another sleeve is there because they're that crazy. They wear 2 shirts. It's insane.
That's a lot. That's a lot of shirts.
Yeah, and then there's cards underneath that second one. It's just like,
course.
You wouldn't expect, well, I guess he's got sleeves under his sleeves. JK, there's also cards there. What? That's Blaze.
I don't get this
You never
metaphor.
know.
Are the cards like the crazy comps and then extra sleeves standard comps, or
I don't have time to explain it, Gilly, because the draft is starting.
Got it.
King of Blades, Alpha guys, if you're here to support them, raise your blades. If you're here to support Team Blaze, blaze your dongers. And if you're here to support Gilly, get silly with the Gilly, because here we go. Game number 2. Stitch is banned out from King of Blaze. I mean, no surprise. Battery was a monster with those hooks. His positioning, his just overall survivability was so difficult to deal with.
I did it, Zoya.
You did it.
It's my boya. It's the Zoya.
No. No.
If you have get silly for the Gilly, I need something.
Well, you don't tilt me mid-cast. How about that?
Okay,
Missy?
sorry. Team Blaze have a ban on Falstad, so far we have the Stitches, we have the Falstad bans. It's interesting to see the Falstad ban from Blaze, but with the amount that they prioritize it, I really think that it's like either we get it or we guarantee that they don't get it at this point. But that does give Rhaegar to King of Blades. Blaze going to pick up Jaina. We see Rafflecopter play her a lot. What will we see in this next pick from them?
King of Blades, Alpha, I really like their decision making here. Some teams would disregard the Rhaegar.
Why are you allowed to tilt me, but I'm not allowed to tilt you?
No, King of Blades doesn't disregard him. Disregard.
Now, taking bets now on how long I have to hear this joke, guys. Is it the next week, month, or year? Go ahead. Place your bets now.
Disregarded. Team Blaze picks up Jada, banned out game number 1. She's in such a fantastic position when it comes to being a mage. She's, with the buffs to her kit overall. Yeah, she did get the nerf on her auto attacks, but I think that was just a good change for the longevity of the game.
Yeah.
Just as more mages eventually get implemented to the game, that's just a nice way to look to try and balance around other ones.
So, here's what I think is happening with Blaze. I'm going to put myself out there a bit. I think they're showing the Zero Tool now because they want King of Blades to ban Abathur because they have something else. Like, they have another plan. Or they have something else that they really want to get, and that makes sure of it because they, force them to do Abathur. Or they don't ban Abathur, and then they get Zero Tool Abathur on Blackheart's Bay, right? So it's kind of a win-win. That would be my guess of what's going on. But let's continue. We have Zagara. She's going to be great for this. Vision around the turning point is so, so crucial. And then Leoric is going to be the choice. We have not been casting very many Leos.
Yeah, Leo, the scaling changes, really hurt him more than anything. I mean, I've been talking to King Caffeine, who is Leoric himself. That is actually King Caffeine
Poor
in the
calf.
game. Uh, he is, not poor calf. He's awesome. He can't die. It's so cool. But
He's also a
the
skeleton.
scaling changes really hurt him, as well as the meta shifting to that more stun-focused meta. With the damage going up, he's much easier to kill. You see often that with Wraithwalk, he's not able to get far enough away because he has to cancel it early because he will die if he doesn't. Definitely infantry pickups. Thrall and Abathur get banned out. I mean, King of Blaze just really trying to make this as standard as a game as possible. But Team Blaze, I mean, they've got a lot of damage on their hands already. Lunara, Zeratul, Jaina, I mean, almost the exact same comp from game one, except no Falstad this time. It's going to be a Jaina instead.
But Jaina is, like I mentioned before, somebody that Ravocopter is very well versed in playing. Although he might be on the Lunara, and then we would see Jason playing Jaina. We'll have to see how they choose to divvy those two heroes up.
What have you done?
What?
Look at chat. Zoya will make you jump for Joya. Zoya is my Goya. I'm permatilt. It's happened, guys. We're at the point again where I am tilted.
Friends! Friends, be healed! You just playing Brightwing! And I'm pumped.
Let's go on this map.
Yeah, and
Bribe is fantastic. There's so many camps that camps are more beneficial on this map than any map because you get the coins from them. So having that bribe option is very, very good on this map. The global presence as well to just split push and then suddenly be in a fight. I mean, there's nothing better than being able to just leave a Brightwing in bottom lane and have her farm for days, and then suddenly she's got giants, and then suddenly she invades your giants. Well, there's 4 coins gone. I'm not too surprised about the Brightwing pickup here. I'm interested to see how solo support Brightwing is going to work out. It's not something we see too often, and she does. In the patch that she got buffed in not long ago, she did get buffed, yes, but it was only to her damage. She got no healing changes.
Yeah, because of the fact that it's a solo support Brightwing, I'm wondering if they'll do that bribe Arcane Flare build that we saw. Was it 2 days ago? I think it was on Tuesday. Or, because I think that was with Tyrande, if I'm remembering correctly. So they had somebody to supplement the heals with, but with still needing their warrior, I think we'll probably see the more standard Hyper Shift build into Phase Shield. But King of Blades picking up Greymane. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then finally, it looks like we might be seeing a Leoric solo warrior as they're hovering over Vala. What do you think of that?
I don't think we're going to see Leoric too often in double warrior compositions, unless it's like for synergistic type reasonings, like either having something to help kill Cho'Gall, or when you have a follow-up for Hook.
Okay.
Not too surprised that solo warrior Leoric. You usually pick it in situations where you're trying to really just isolate a few members of the composition, and you want the damage to be able to secure that. The problem with double warrior right now, when you run with Leoric, is the damage just isn't there. Leoric's damage isn't as good before. The warrior, second warrior really lowers that a lot. So when you get that in Tomb, we see a lot of times that it's with triple ranged, where they can secure the kill inside of that Entomb.
Quit it. That's what I thought.
Oh, no Artanis, yeah.
Yeah, it's battery.
Joanna's a bit interesting here. She does a good job of...
that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, this draft wasn't Blaze enough with only a Brightwing. We needed something else a little bit more different here. And we got the Chen. Chen can be very obnoxious on this map. He's great at doing camps. He's one of the better warriors at doing it. And he's very safe. He's always got a way to get away. And I'm curious as to see how good... I'm assuming it's going to be Barrel Chen again because it's Blaze.
Though, look at what King of Blades Alpha have as far as what they can do to interrupt his drinking. It's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's a Devouring Maw?
Devouring Maw.
You're not going to use that.
Rain of Vengeance. You never know.
Oh, they might have to.
We'll see. I'm still not the biggest fan. I was already kind of, not happy with King of Blades Alpha draft when the moment it was solo warrior Leoric. It's got a place, but it's very rarely, and I don't know. I mean, if you catch the Lunara and the Jaina and the Entomb, sure, that wouldn't be so bad. But most of the time we see, but even then, I don't know if Entomb's going to be enough. And the only time we ever see March is on maps like Sky Temple, where the boss is in a very pivotal position of
Yeah.
contention, and we see big marches on top of that. So more than likely it will be Entomb. But with Zeratul having Blink, Chen having a way to kick over the wall, and then Brightwing having Blink heal, as well as her phase shift. I don't know what the value of Leoric is in this draft.
Yeah,
I think like if you with this triple range, if you put Muradin or ETC with it, it's just as good. Or, I mean, not just as good; it's much better.
yeah. And especially with the Falstad ban, right? Like the fact that Blaze themselves had banned out that Falstad. But guys, the game has started to load. See what I did there? I got you excited, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But get excited in chat. Don't forget that you can there's still time to tweet Heroes and tell them how excited you are for these games. You can follow them at Esports Heroes. Use the hashtag HGC because it is almost time and it is potentially our last game of the evening, Zoya.
Yeah. Will this be it for Blaze? It's been the third time they made it to the top 4. People thought they could have qualified in the first one. They thought they were definitely going to qualify in the second one. This might be finally their moment. They will be joining Cloud9, Tempo Storm, Bob Ross Fan Club, and Cognitive Gaming if they can do so. But King of Blades Alpha, don't forget about them. They had a really good set. Most of that game, number 1, they were doing a great job of keeping even with Blaze. So don't give up on them just yet. We'll see what they can do here on Blackheart's Bay.
Yeah, King of Blades has been playing in every single one of these qualifiers too, trying to get one of those qualifying positions. But it all comes down to this match and this game too, as we are ready to hop into it. In the blue, once again, we have King of Blades Alpha with Talking Trees playing Vala, Dark Chimera, this time on Rhaegar, Tomster playing Greymane, Talking Trees playing, wait, that is Vala again, Collusion playing Leoric, and finally Frozen X will be playing Zagara.
On the right hand side of the map in the red trunks, it's going to be Team Blaze. Jason playing Lunara, Claudius playing Zeratul, Rafflecopter playing Jaina, Yuge playing Brightwing, and Shen rounding out the team played by Battery.
So far, it looks like Battery is going to be going bottom, whereas we
I like it.
we thought it was maybe going to be Yuge there, but he's a great solo laner just because of the fact that he can continually drink, and there's not a lot of interrupts for that.
Even with a change to Arcane Flare and how we're starting to see some Q builds come out from Brightwing, I don't think we'll do it this game because it is solo support Brightwing, but Brightwing's landing is better because of the changes to her Q, but Zagara will just stomp her in lane. There's no stopping the Zagara Brightwing versus Zagara. Chen can at least stall out the lanes with his Chug. He won't win the lane, he won't be able to outpush the Zagara, but he can stall it out. So it's the safest possible laner for Team Blaze to deal with the Zagara.
A little bit of a fighting happening around this watchtower as we get ready in just a few seconds for that first phase of the chests. I like Yuge being up here trying to clear out these minions because he can always phase shift into for his team as they are starting to work on this Collusion. Going to pick up 3 Talking Trees, taking a bunch of damage from Nature's Toxin. They're trying to slow down Inclusion, maybe be able to steal those away as they got 3 on him. It looks like 2 were picked up probably by Rhaegar, yes, who's coming in to try to help Frozen X. Battery moving in here, and Dark Chimera is going to get more of these, and they're not going to be able to contest this. So the first chest phase heavily favored for King of Blades Alpha.
Yeah, once Battery saw the assassin known as Rhaegar, he immediately got out of there. Just way too much to deal with. Good kill on Frozen X, though. Nice turnaround. Unfortunately, that's not the guy with the 7 coins, so they're not going to be able to get that benefit quite yet. Taking a look at these rotations. I mean, again, we talked about last game, the late scaling of Jason, so we'll have to see what Blaze's thoughts are going into the mid-early game. The problem with doing a late-game hero such as Lunara on a map like Blackheart's Phase, the game is decided by who wins the early to mid-game.
Yeah.
It's completely momentum-based to the point that if you get a big enough lead, you just go from point to point to point, capping mercenaries, getting coins, getting a turn in, getting chests, and then all the other team can do is respond, about 30 seconds late to everything, and it ends up snowballing into a very one-sided win. So we'll have to see what Blaze's strategy is to keep themselves not falling behind.
Yeah, it was their map pick, and it is their choice to go with that late game strategy. So one thing to do is, because they did lose that first chest phase, make sure that they're keeping up with their jungle. Make sure that they're not losing any of these camps to King of Blades, rotating around and maybe stealing some of them. And they already are getting those. Brightwing and Claudius are going to catch Rhaegar and grab a lot of those doubloons right under the nose of Frozen X. But can they get away with this? Tomster has come in. He's starting to go after Claudius, but Yuge is the bigger target. They're fine with potentially losing Claudius as long as Yuge can get away away with those doubloons, and they're going to do so.
Yeah, really good collapse, nice gank, and this is a combo that we've seen Blaze run before. The Brightwing Zeratul combination. Especially once you get the phase shield, as we do see Jaina and Vala trade for each other. Thompson's going to go down as well. I love Jason's decision making, knowing that the dot would be enough to secure that kill, and then rotating to get his more damage on Declusion. But the power of Brightwing Zeratul. Once you get the shield, Zeratul can be super aggressive. You preemptively start your teleport, and then suddenly, because you don't see Zeratul, you have two members on top of you. You're inside a polymorph. You're taking so much damage from both Brightwing and Zeratul, and you can secure very easy kills, especially versus squishy heroes like Zagara and Vala.
Man, in that fight, Blaze just made such a great call out of a terrible situation. Rafflecopter got caught out. He was slowed immediately by collusion. You could see the point when he realizes, I'm not getting out of here, turns around and throws his entire combo onto Vala. And then Jason, with the rotation coming in, was able to make sure that they got not only that kill, but then another kill as well. So really good job from them and being able to even just turn that around. And they're doing exactly what I mentioned. They're controlling their coin camps now, and they're ahead in experience. And a lot of that comes down to some of the talent choices they have. They have, this time, the Cruel Spores as well as Nature's Culling for Lunara. So very focused on being able to clear out waves a lot. And Jason's been going back and forth between that mid and top, now throwing down damage on Declusion, pushing him away, but he's doing a really good job of clearing out those waves constantly and getting them ahead in experience.
Yeah, winning the early game is so important for Blaze right now. They're doing a good job. A lot of damage going on the Talking Trees. Jason gets very low, but Collusion does not fall. Great heals from Dark Chimera, and a good turnaround from Thompson, securing that kill onto Jaina. That's going to secure them all 5 of the coins in the top, and the bottom Yuge got all of those as well. So a little trade there for the chest, but nice job from King of Blades securing themselves a kill, and they should be able to get themselves a turn in. Collusion and Dark Chimera by themselves have enough to complete this turn in here, as they are sitting on 11 between them both, and they've got a lot more on the map. It looks like they have 15 total. We'll see once this is done shooting the actual amount. Show me.
Yes, you are right.
Boom, nailed it. Caster math. Hello.
All right, so they're going to start working on that turn-in. Blaze are not in a position where they have the heroic advantage, but they are still at least going to try to deny this. Brightwing even going to come in, but they should maybe leave Zeratul up to try to soak, because they are getting pretty close to those heroic abilities, and that is what they're going to do. He's rotating around between those lanes while the rest of them watch it, and I like this. If they can get their heroic abilities, then they've got this nice window where they can get a few more coins and get a second turn-in before King of Blades would be able to get their first one.
I like to pick up a Frost Armor here on Jaina, just making sure she's as safe as possible to any burst coming out from Rhaegar, Greymane, or Vala. Just helping out a little bit there. Level 10 picked up. It's going to be pretty standard heroics, as Chen already seems to have used his. It's going to be Wandering Keg. Brightwing getting the Polymorph off the Frozen X, not going to be able to secure that kill just yet, but it will be Wandering Keg, Thornwood Vine, Blink Kill, Void Prison, and Summon Water Elemental.
Jason looking for the invade on those, but does see the Tomster just moving around too, and not wanting to get caught out for those 2 doubloons. Tomster might be able to do so anyway. Throws a bunch of damage with the Razor Swipe onto Jason. Here comes Brightwing in, and can they pick up somebody here? There are some people they can try to grab. They're trying to get a pick before they get level 10 would be great, as well as getting their turn in. They're working on getting those final doubloons they need to do that.
Level 10, so close to being here. Blaze rotating to get a turn, and Rafflecopter does scout it out. He does have 2 of the coins for his team, as they are holding 6 right now. Good use of the Wisp as well from Lunara. Jason puts it in the mid from all the way across the map. He rotated it down as Rafflecopter was leaving mid. Rafflecopter scouted out to see if there was anyone there. Once he knew it was clear, the Wisp was sent down so it would not get killed off. They would be able to scout out. Dark Chimera taking a lot of damage. Claudius actually going for the body block here, but Talking Trees rotates in. Blink is down for Claudius, so he has to be careful.
The heroic abilities are in for King of Blades Alpha, and they have Devouring Maw, Entomb, Go for the Throw, Ancestral Healing, and Strafe from Vala. So no Rain of Vengeance. I know you were really hoping for it, buddy.
No, I wasn't. Nope. Not a fan of that heroic. Yeah, it should be Strafe. I mean, it just does so much spread damage, especially versus a solo support Brightwing. She does have clearly AoE healing, but it's not the best. You wouldn't compare it to a Karazim or Malfurion. So Strafe going to be helping out a lot in these team fights. This is another turn in for Blaze, and that's going to do a lot of damage to this bottom fort. And with them sieging it as well, this might secure them all 3 forts of King of Blades.
It's going to start throwing some damage down with those last few shots. They're also going to be working on these bruisers, but need to be careful because they don't quite have 13 yet, and the rest of King of Blades are moving in, and Lunara is not here. Greymane is a lot closer, and the Entomb goes down onto Yuge, but he, of course, does have Blink Heal available if they need it, but Void Prison is going to go down a lot of members, and Talking Trees, though he did strafe, gets very low. It gets polymorphed into the back, and that throws down a little bit of damage, but it will be Jaina that goes down too. Zeratul is going to follow Wandering Keg, trying to do what they can, but Blaze maybe reaching out too far with Lunara not being here. They've lost a couple of members and the bruisers in that lane.
Yeah, really bad decision making coming out from Blaze there. They should not have fought that at all. And now there are 25 coins sitting on the end of 26 as Zagard does pick up that last one on the end of King of Blades. And this is why it's so tough to come back in this game. That you have to make plays like your opponent almost has to make a mistake to give up a big lead for you to get a chance to get a turn in here, and that's exactly what happened. This should secure them level 13, but even with them getting this turn in and still having enough coins for another turn in Gilly, they're still so far behind on map structures right now. This turn in alone probably isn't even going to get mid fort. I don't think it will. Mid fort will still stand, and they're basically down all 3 of their forts. This is despite getting that big win, they're still significantly farther behind.
Yeah, and that really plays into the psychology of team fighting too, because you know you're holding so many doubloons, you don't want to get in a fight, you want to try to turn them in, you're terrified that they're going to catch you, and especially because they've got a Zeratul on their side, but then at the same time you feel this pressure that you need to catch up because it's Blackheart's Bane, you need to get these doubloons turned in, and so it's just like this constant hovering around the mid, being very careful, not necessarily having the right people forward because they might be the ones who have the doubloons, like Dark Chimera has 5, is it Leoric who has a ton? I guess it's Frozen X who has a bunch too, and it can easily be caught onto the side looking for that flanking devouring maw, so it's just scary to have to deal with for them, but they are going to try to make it work right here.
Hungering Arrow doing work to Jason there as he did go a little bit too deep. Talking Tree showing the value of the Hungering Arrow build on Vala. Claudius looking for a flank. Another great target for the Hungering Arrow build, as you usually have the Zeratul isolated in the back line. All it takes is one Hungering Arrow to be able to get him. Does end up dismounting him and doing a lot of damage to Claudius here. Talking Trees, it ends up getting him to half health by himself. Usually not able to get the turn in, as Banelings do end up picking him down. But the lack of poke actually from King of Blades is actually really helping out Blaze right now, as they're not having to worry about the healing too much. Ice Block used, big Wandering Keg in the backline to push up Frozen X there, and he's going to be picked off almost completely, but Talking Strafes with an amazing strafe there in the backline and 2 members inside that maul about to pop out. Yuge trying to get away here, a big 3-man VP. It's a 2-for-2 exchange right now. Can King of Blades come out on top? It looks like they're going to be able to force Blaze to back out. They're trying to get a turn in here. Claudius looking like he wants to re-engage. Battery does come in. Talking Trees does dismount him. Brightwing teleporting in, and that will be the death of Vala. Cleanse was used, but not enough to save her.
They had, what, 25 doubloons when we started this? Now they have 14. So Blaze already has come out from this definitely winning because they stole so many doubloons. Now they have a turn-in of their own. Collusion's going to try to stop them. Does have the Ghastly Reach, so a little bit further being able to sit back with the range on that Skeletal Swing to deny that. And for now they are denying it, but Lunara is back. Jaina's starting to come in too, and they're ready to re-engage if they need to. And the longer this goes on, Blaze are closer to their 16 talents, Zoia.
Yeah. And they have the Brightwing, who's headed top right now. She can teleport to the fight whenever she pleases. Now Dark Chimera quickly gets most of those gems, but nice invade from Claudius to secure himself 2 of them. And Brightwing already coming in, Yuge ready for a fight. Level 16 almost here for Blaze, as Lunar is clearing out this bottom lane. Zeratul is rotating up top to contest this chest against Collusion. I don't know how many of these coins he'll be able to get. He has to be careful because Talking Trees is here, and that should give this chest over to King of Blades. Ravelcopter coming up to contest it as well. Collusion gets most of them. He's taking a lot of damage. Wraithlock popped very early, but Battery looking for the flank, and that's a great Wandering Keg. It's going to push Collusion back into the death range, and he's going to fall very quickly, pitting Frozen X between the Entomb as well. That isn't getting canceled because he's dead. Frozen X gets hit by the Ancestral Healing, but that is going to be a dead Greymane at the same time. Frozen X is going to fall, and wow, that flank from Battery was so beautiful.
So good. He's already scary with body blocks. Add Flying Kick to that, and that's insane. So now they've been able to get another turn-in solely pretty much from doubloons that they stole from their opponents. They are looking at boss. They have 16. They have so much to add. They have Greater Polymorph 2. It is going to be Northern Exposure. Rending Cleave 2 to give more damage. We do have Boulder Flavor. So now Chin is going to be even tankier and can just sit there and take so many abilities and so much damage from King of Blades while the rest of his team pokes down King of Blades at those turn-ins, just like we saw in the last fight.
boss taken in the top by Blaze. Just going to push in that top lane. And actually going to be pretty impactful as this... actually, no, never mind. It was Blades that got the turn in. My bad. Dark Khmer getting very, very low. Will he end up falling? He does end up surviving. Still 18 seconds on Ancestral, which is really bad for them. They're going after Huge. He's getting low. Claudius is trying to kite with him as well. Get the slow. Big strafe comes down. That's going to be the death of Huge.
That is a good win to be able to steal some of those back, but now they need to get out of here as Chin and Jason are starting to rotate around, and Rafflecopter could potentially come in too. Lunara is going to get taken out, but looks like maybe Tomster. Is he gonna? Okay, he gets taken out, but his team at least can pick up those doubloons. But all of the while, this is Dark Chimera by himself dealing with this boss. But what am I saying? This is Rhaegar, who has Rising Storm, so he's gonna be fine. He'll be able to take it out before it does too much keep damage. But on Blackheart's Bay, every structure matters because Blackheart does attack the structures himself.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. The boss has done enough damage that it is won the efficiency battle for Blaze here. The next turn will secure a double keep, I believe, for Blaze, as it will be sieging both mid and top. It'll be really close if it gets the top one. It might actually not be getting the top one, but both will be so low that they'll be able to push in and take them. Now, everyone's about to be up with both Lunara and Greymane just about to res. Still about a full level lead on the end of Blaze as they are getting closer and closer to that level 20. Claudius gets caught, does end up blinking out to avoid the Hungering Arrow from Talking Trees. And taking a look at the coin count, Gilly, only Blades has... King of Blades, excuse me. If I say Blades, you know...
Yeah, it's confusing.
Only King of Blades has enough coins for that turn-in, whereas Blades needs one more to be able to secure an easy turn-in. They're posturing around. I love the scouting coming out from both the Wisp as well as Claudius, just scouting for as many members as they can. And they're going to be able to sneak 13 coins in here. That's actually a pretty big win for Blaze. These guys don't have to be as scared in team fights. They're willing to be more aggressive now that they're not carrying those coins.
Yep. Huge is coming in. They know that the rest of King of Blades are here, and with the amount of time that they are on the same talent tier, King of Blades knows that they need to win a fight or they need to get this turn in here before they're down their the Storm talents to Team Blaze. So they're going to start posturing once again, but again, the poking is so strong from Blaze. They need to be very careful to try to avoid that as much as possible. Tomster coming around from the back. Maybe going to try to pick up Rafflecopter. It takes a bunch of damage and a lot from that Blizzard on top of it, and Dark Chimera going to have to start healing him back up.
Yeah, Tomster going to be playing very safe in the backline. He's afraid of Claudius, who's on top of him. Not going to be able to go for it, though. He's playing as safe as he can. Gets good damage on the Talking Trees. That's just so much burst coming out from Claudius there. And now with the Polymorph and Jason damage, just destroying Collusion in the front line. He's going to have to reposition himself with that Wraithlock. And this is going to be a turn-in here for Blaze. That's going to be so much siege chips. And look at the bottom keep, how much damage it's taken. The front wall is down. They're having to deal with this. One turn-in is going to do so much damage. It's going to definitely secure that middle keep. Top keep's going to take some serious damage. Might go down, and then with how free it will be for Blaze to just secure that final keep, this is such a tough position for King of Blades to be in.
Yeah, they know that they've got their Storm tier talents almost on lock, so they're going to start to push into the bottom two, just doing whatever they can to constantly make King of Blades play back, play defensively, not soak, not catch up, just have to play reactionary, because that's exactly how you don't want to be playing in Heroes of the Storm. And Blaze have done a really great job, even with this later game composition with the Lunara, of being able to make sure to win the right fights and get the doubloons turned in, whereas that's something that King of Blades have really struggled with, is getting those turn-ins.
Top keep is going to fall, and there's one shot left on Blackheart's pirate ship. It's going to go at that turret, but Lunara's dot damage secures all three keeps for Blaze, guys. I know people have been fans for these guys for a long time. This might finally be their moment. Blaze your dongers in the chat, because they have a significant advantage with all three keeps down and 20 advantage. Blaze, looking like this might be their time to qualify.
Let's see what those 20 talents to win that they did pick up. They have Bolt of the Storm, will be Nexus Blades for Zeratul too, and Revitalizing Mist for Brightwing, trying to give his teammates a little bit extra healing, knowing that they have been getting in some prolonged fights, and that'll help even more. Hardened Shield, of course, for Chen, and then finally Forest's Wrath, once again as the pickup for Lunara.
Well, level 20 almost here, or 4 Blades. Still about 6 more coins needed, not about, exactly 6 more coins needed for Blaze before they can get a turn in, which if they force a fight, they might be able to get some of those coins. We'll see what they're doing. Thompson doing a lot of damage to Rafflecopter in the backline. Yu's trying to keep him alive. Ice Block used at the last second. Oh, but he overextends and gets punished hard.
Oh, that ice block. I bet Rafflecopter is so happy that he picked that up instead of getting Icy Veins there, because that really came in handy, and that's big. 50 seconds where Greymane is still down, and King of Blades know it. They know they don't have 20 still. They know they got someone caught out, and if they lose any more, it's an invitation for Blaze to come in and win the game. So it is good at least that they were able to get out of there with only have losing one hero. But this is a big problem for them because Blaze are starting to work on the boss. They know it. They see people off the map. They're heading up here, but can they defend this? They're about to get level 20. There it is. They at least have Storm Talents, but no Greymane still.
If this boss gets taken, that's going to be so devastating for Blades. I don't know if they'll be able to stop this push. Boss with 3 lanes of catapults might be too much. Collusion and Dark Mirror on the point, but they're taking so much damage as the rest of their team was a little bit slower. Talking Trees goes for the backline. Yuge getting very low, a big strafe, and Yuge is going to fall. It's still a good fight for Blades. They also get Lunara. Talking Trees gets very low. Good Void Prison coming out from Clives, but he gets inside at the last second. Dark Chimera is so low with his teammate. He tries to keep him alive, but he has to kite for his life as Rafflecopter looking for the kill. Chen goes for Frozen X. He's isolated as well. This is a good win for Blaze. Rhaegar falls. That's going to be a 2-for-2 exchange. Rafflecopter's completely though. Claudius sees an opportunity to get away, though. He's going for a turn, and he has 16 coins on him. And with catapults already pushing mid lane, with the turn-in coming, all shots going towards the core, I think this is going to be game. Gilly, Kings of Blaze has checkmate, and they're taking it.
They're throwing in their lot, their bank, to Blackheart, and he is going to start working on the core. The shields have already been taken down some by the catapults that did get to pushing in all of the lanes because of that long, prolonged fight up at the boss. And with that turn in, Team Blaze has done it. They've finally been able to qualify twice now. They've made it to the round of 4 and not been able to do so, but they've finally, well, no, twice in the last ones weren't able to, and now this time they're finally able to qualify and join the 4 other teams at Regionals, the ESL Studios, at the end of February.
Yeah, really well done to Blaze. I mean, I think people are a little bit surprised that they made it this far, but, you know, it just shows you how close the competition is here in North America, as we have a lot of teams that are looking great at the tip top. But congratulations to Blaze on making it to the North American Regionals, where they will be competing at Burbank, California at the end of the month, February 27th and 28th. So congrats, guys. Well deserved.
It is, and just trying to check and see if we know. It looks like Panda Global and Team Nam is still going on in the other stream, so we will be hosting that stream as soon as we are done. But great job for Team Blaze in both of those games. King of Blades put up a great fight too for them, but you can definitely see Team Blaze was like, it's time. We've dealt with enough.
I definitely think King of Blades, though, Alpha, they are not going anywhere. As, they do have the last chance qualifier coming up this Sunday that we will be seeing them compete in. They're definitely going to be there because they've made it deep in all these tournaments. I don't know what other teams will be joining them for sure.
I'm looking at it right now, actually.
You can see which teams have the points?
Well, I can see the points, yeah. And on the website, if you go to, like, you know,
the website, like I have.
Sorry. Okay, so on the bracket, and then if you go to just the main page for the tournament, then it does have the current qualifier ranking for points. It looks like thus far, 2ARC, Panda Global, if they don't qualify in their match, Elevate, King of Blades Alpha, will be there definitely. THC White, Gale Force Esports.
I have no idea where you see this, so I'm
Resurgence,
just gonna let you roll with it.
RFS Gaming, and OVO Gaming. And Team Nam are like all at the top, but it will be the top 8 teams from there, guys, and the points will change just a little bit depending on how that other semifinal match goes. But that is it for us. Zoya, any shout outs that you want to give?
Yeah, shout out to you. It's been a blast casting these qualifiers. Hopefully we're casting in Sunday. We don't actually know what the plan is Sunday. You know, it's a little bit different than other qualifiers, so I'm assuming we're casting, but no schedule has been set in just yet. So it's been a blast, and hopefully we'll be back Sunday, guys, with that last chance qualifier. Big shout out to Tempest Storm and all our sponsors, Twitch, G2A, and Fnatic Gear. Also, look at this awesome shirt I'm wearing. You can order that at intotheam.com, as well as other Tempest Storm swag, such as sweaters. We have more t-shirts outside of this one. This is the one that mirrors our team jerseys, as well as we have hats and stuff. So make sure you head on over there and go over to TempoStorm.com, not only for amazing Heroes of the Storm content, but as well as Hearthstone. We just signed a new CSGO team, so we'll be getting some Counter-Strike content up there as well as World of Warcraft, and soon Overwatch content as well.
Well, guys, if you want to follow me, you can do so on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, all Gillyweed SC2. Normally during this time, I am doing a Heroes of the Storm podcast called Eye on the Storm with my friend Anna Prosser Robinson over on the Misclicks channel, which you should definitely check out. It has some really cool gaming content. And we will be back with that next week, so please make sure that you give that channel a follow. That's twitch.tv/MISSCLIKS. And a big shout out to them for having a watch party for the stream. Really appreciate you guys supporting us while we were casting this event. It's been a lot of fun. And we hope you guys had fun in chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we hopefully will see you Sunday. Bye.
Go watch Jake. Hello?